A shot in the dark here. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Don't
Uh,
tell me that you suffered through 7 hours of that meeting.
I religiously watch every county meeting, so and I record them. So it is what it is. Yes, I do have an interest in the county. Um, I called or wanted to talk to you about the SASO, as you know, and I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
And my first question is: after 2 years, what has sparked your interest to bring this back up after what all I've done?
Number one, what happened in the nation's capital yesterday? Does that give you a cause for concern?
Um, what happened yesterday was a setup. I'll tell you that right now. Um, I'm on it. I have a lot of information, and that was a setup. But that still doesn't really pertain to a say so in Curry County. And
Well, it
so,
does to me. It's the way our country's going, and people are potentially left unprotected, compromised, restricted. Um, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my job. I want to answer your question here. Um, you know, if you look, Andre, just the changes have happened in the last 2 years. No panic, but I think people are. I mean, it goes along with the gun sales that have skyrocketed in this country, and then you got to look at ammunition. Then you got to hope and pray that people get properly trained. Single moms, all the above. Anyway, does that help some?
uh, not really. But let me ask you this:
Okay.
uh, do you plan on writing a say so, or do you
I
plan
feel
on
like
using what I have submitted?
Well, I feel like I didn't communicate very well when we were emailing some time ago. If I recall the way we left it, I could support this wholeheartedly, no matter who's against it, if it was identical to Coos and Josephine counties. I just want to catch up with them.
So you want to use my say so?
I don't know. I don't know if it's yours. I just want to use what Josephine County. That was going on the assumption, very important, um, going on the assumption that those two were identical, but I wasn't sure, Andre.
They are identical. Um,
Oh, that's good news.
I have talked to my law firm. Whatever you want to do, court, I can't legally stop you because I don't have anything on the books. So if you want to use my say so, which is the exact same as Coos, Josephine, Grant, Harley County, all those, that's my say so. If you want to use it, you're more than welcome. I'm going to tell you where I stand on this.
Well, now
Um,
wait a minute. What do you? Yeah, where do you? Don't tell me where you stand. Tell me what you would like me to do. I don't want to do
you
anything
run
that makes.
you run with it, court. And
I don't know. If I feel like there's something wrong here that maybe you're upset or maybe I'm.
I'm not upset at all.
Okay.
I just cover my butt, just like you have to cover yours. Here, you know the timeline. It's 2 years in the works. $35,000 into this. I went through the legal process, and I lost in the court of law. Myself and my law firm has accepted this loss in Curry County, and I haven't pursued it since then. I've never brought it up
Okay.
not since that court date when we walked out, and I've dropped it since then. I've never pursued it, and as you know, we have a lot of opposition from some key players over what I filed. Um, I just did, I just did due process of the law is what I did, and I lost. And if you want to use what I have written up, you're gonna meet the brick wall like I did. And so, but you're more than welcome to use it. I mean, it stands in these other 7 counties, and
That's
why it doesn't stand here, I don't know. But I played out. I think all I could play out. We lost in the end in the court of law. And if you think you can do something, I encourage you to go ahead and do something. But let me tell you,
hey. I was just trying to facilitate. I'm not
I
on a white horse
understand.
here.
I
I'm
understand. And I'm just telling you where I'm at on it. and I accept my loss, and it is what it is. And I have no plans to pursue a SASO myself in Curry County, and
The
neither
answer,
does my law firm.
yeah. First of all, I'm horribly sorry to hear that. I guess it never sunk in, Andre. I just didn't get it, and to hear you that kind of sacrifice and that kind of expense, I just wow. Um,
I'm not bitter about it, court. Don't get me wrong. I exercised my rights in the due process of the government that's afforded to us, and the outcome was the outcome. And like I said, I accept that. I don't have any harsh feelings, no ill will, ill feelings about any of the process. That's just the process that did happen. It and after I thought a couple of days about you pulling it up, kind of to me out of the blue, you know, run with it. Like I said, I've contacted my law firm. You're more than welcome to use my say so per Batum. Not a problem at all. I'm not going to put my name on another one, no. Not at this time. Not from the advice of my law firm. I'm not putting my name on one. I'll back you with what you want to do. I'll come speak. I have a couple of other concerns if you do want to use my say so.
let me interject something here. The push is trying to do something that is timely and wise and necessary. If it doesn't meet any of those three categories, why am I involved? Because it's what I believe in.
Right.
Does it have to be done right now? No, especially if I don't have your support, or if it.
You do have my support.
Huh?
You do have my support in moving forward with the say so.
Yeah. Well, see, the sheriff sent out a deal. Let me just be real direct here. He sent out a deal that was very discouraging, and that I had somehow connected with. What's his name? St. James, and even a little bit Nicholas. I think Nicholas is a great guy, but I don't know either one of them. Andre, I don't know either one of them a tenth what I know you. So it almost looked like I stepped in it or something, and that was not my intent. My intent was to be a commissioner that could keep it from going to the voters if that's what my citizens wanted and needed. If I moved too fast, or if I screwed up some way, I got so goddamn much work here. I'm just going to stay focused. I'm just available to help. I'm interested. I think it's the right thing, but I don't want to. If it in any way sheds any bad light on you, or at the very least, I think we probably just want to wait for a month, 2, 3, or something. I've not contacted or recontacted St. James. I did get a call. 3 calls from Nicholas. Wasn't able to get to his first 2 calls. Finally, I did pick up, and it was fine. But I like I say, I don't know them, and it's. I have not talked to St. James by phone at all. I've only met him once, barely, and I didn't even know it was him. So, I've heard some negative things. I don't necessarily believe negative things. Tells proof.
Well, let me just put it this way about St. James. I'm the lead Curry County 3%. I'm the lead here. I kicked his ass out of my group. So you take that for what you think it's worth. And you know how I am, brother. And so if I kick somebody out of a Patriot group, seriously, you need to avoid them like the plague. He doesn't represent anything that I say or anything about 3%. Just to make that perfectly clear. And I've made that perfectly clear to the sheriff as well. And I do talk to the sheriff. And I've talked to the sheriff about the say so. And you're going to have a problem there. But I don't have a problem with the say so. And I don't have a problem with whatever you want to do. I encourage it. Really, I do. You're more than welcome to use my say so verbatim. The only thing I would really ask, if it does pass, that the name of the ordinance remains the same, the Tom McGurgan law. That is the only thing I ask. I am so vested into his family, and I don't know how to say it and express my true feelings, how adamant I am about it being named to Tom McGurgan-Law. And if it doesn't get named that, if it does pass, I'm going to have a huge issue, and that's the only issue I'll ever have if it doesn't get named what I want it named, since I've got 2 years and 35,000 wrapped up into this, trying to get it named the Tom McGurgan-Law. And I think you know the importance of that.
I think it's right on, my friend.
You know, but like I said, I'm not gonna John Hancock any paperwork on this at this point in time, under the advice of my law firm, and but I'll support you. That's where I stand on this, SASO. And let me ask you this: that piece of paper, do you think it's gonna do anything? It's as useless as a restraining order. And so
Okay.
you talk about what happened yesterday in D.C. You know, that piece of paper won't change anything. And when the shit hits the fan here in Curry, it's not going to really matter. And I'll tell you what the problem is with the SASO and the verbiage in it is it's stripping away the qualified immunity from law enforcement. And that's where they have the problem with it. And that's where Johnny Ward has the problem with it. It strips away their qualified immunity and allows us to personally go after law enforcement for enforcing bogus laws. But you and me both know Johnny Ward ain't gonna enforce any bogus gun law to begin with. He's just as constitutional as you and me are. And so at some point in time, I gave up. I didn't really give up, I lost. You know, and I understand all this. And then I reflect back on it, it's just going to be an ordinance. It's useless, really. It's not going to change anything in the county. It won't. Maybe the next sheriff, it might be a different deal. You know, we have Lincoln County Sheriff, he's totally against anybody owning a gun. I fought against him and lost up there as well. And he won. I tried to get the SASO to go in Lincoln County. I spent a lot of time up there, a lot of 2-day trips and shit, and so you never know about the next sheriff. But really think about it. What would actually change in Curry County with this piece of paper? The sheriff's already made it more than publicly clear he won't enforce any bogus gun law, sales of or anything else. So, you know, and I tried to, you know, exercise my rights in due process, and I failed. And so that's where I stand. But I understand these other things as well. You know, and at some point in time, you have to walk away, brother.
There's no way I need to pursue this even slightly. I'm fine. If it's not going to do any good, then hell with it. I mean,
that's kind of where we're at.
I don't need to piss off anybody.
You're not going to piss me off, Court. I haven't been pissed off in 45 years. And
I mean,
seriously, straight up, you can't piss me off, and I'll support you.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the sheriff and.
You gotta piss the sheriff off. That's for sure. I guarantee you that.
I don't understand how the Joe County and Coos County sheriffs could be fine with it, and our sheriff isn't. That is a little baffling.
It is. Everybody's different, and like I told you, some board of commissioners passed this from the get-go without a problem. Others had to take it to get signatures to get it on the ballot. The other counties, a couple of the counties, they had to reword. They had to change ands to ifs or some stupid shit like that, and then it flew through the board of commissioners. That's what happened in Coos County. The board of commissioners just signed it. They had no problem with it. They didn't care what the sheriff had to say. Our sheriff has a little more influence upon the board of commissioners, as you know. I mean, we all know that he does have an influence on our board, and so does David Brock Smith. David Brock Smith was my biggest wall on this SASO, the biggest wall, and I have a meeting with him later today. But you know, I respect him, and I always have respected David, and I support him. But he, you know, he is the first person I talked to when I drafted the SASO. and I gave him a copy and asked him what he thought. And he told me what he thought. He will do everything humanly possible to shut me down and stop me from doing this. And I, I was like, well, thanks. I asked, you told, and so I know where you stand. And you're gonna have walls. Trust me. If you try to move forward, the sheriff.
Here's where we are.
All right, go ahead.
Here's where we are. First of all, can't thank you enough for this time and all the work you've done on that. It's just absolutely amazing. It's the right thing to do. I'm very sorry for the financial loss. I know where your heart is, and it's mighty, mighty awesome. I have no reason whatsoever to go any further on it unless you suddenly change your mind. I'm not saying I don't want anything to do with Nicholas and St. James. I'm going to distance myself. I'm not assuming they're bad or accepting what you said, but it does have impact on me. It does.
Understand.
And that's good. I appreciate it. So
if you want my honest opinion, Court, I would just stick with the SAPO that we have in place that David Brock Smith authored, and that pretty much covers it. Pretty much my SASO was only expanding on that, and the expansion was to punish law enforcement. And so it wasn't really the greatest move on the expansion to the SASO, but that was my point, was to strip their qualified immunity, and so that we could personally sue them in civil court for violating gun laws. And but they're not doing it anyway. So really, I'm happy with the SAPO, to tell you the truth, Court. And I think the best thing is to leave it all alone. To tell you the truth. But I will.
Fine with that. If we could have said this at the very beginning of the conversation, I would have.
No, I support you in doing. I support you in moving forward. But I'm telling you right now how I feel about it, because obviously we're talking, and that's what I think is probably the best for the county right now, is to let the SAPO just keep rocking it. We don't have no problems. The sheriff backs us, you know that. He backs us 100% and encourages us to carry guns and own guns, and that's kind of where I stand, and that's why the last 9 months, I guess, maybe 10 months, I haven't said a word about the SASO. So, but don't get me wrong. If you want to move forward, I will support you in your movement, and you're more than welcome to use my work.
Are you not hearing me?
I am hearing you. I guess maybe not all the way.
I don't need to go 1 inch. All I need to do is talk to you in the very beginning, and I haven't done anything anyway except collect.
Right.
I told you I have a tremendous respect for the Josephine County Attorney. He's a Marine, former legislator, Iraq veteran, and I did not. You've confirmed that it was your say-so that they took, Coos County took, and the commissioners up there approved it. I'm cool until you tell me to do something else. Nobody else is going to have any impact on me. Not St. James, not the sheriff, not Nicholas, not nobody. I'm done. If you change your mind tomorrow, then I'm going to listen very carefully, because I want you happy. But I see no need to spend one more second on even a consideration. Does that help?
Yes, it does. I'll tell you one thing about the sheriff. I have mad respect for him. Nothing but the utmost respect for Johnny. But when I filed that say-so, that put a huge strain on the relationship that we did have, and it's taken me 2 years to get to a repair point where he'll actually communicate back to me now. And that's not something I want. I want to have a relationship with my sheriff, and so does the 3%. And so it took a long time to repair. David Brock Smith, he rebounded in a couple of days and still has remained a great friend of mine. The sheriff took it really hard because I went after his employees. That's what the SASO does, is goes after the sheriff's employees and him personally as well. And that's where the problem lied. And it took 2 years for me to repair, our relationship, at least where we can communicate back and forth and email. You know, when before I could call them on the phone, and so think about that as well. But like you said, you heard me, I hear you. I think we're fine. Really, honestly, I really think we're fine with the SAPO. David Brock did a great job when he authored that, and he worked very hard on to get that passed, fighting against Huxley the whole way, and he worked with Johnny Ward to help get that authored. I think we're safe with that, and I think we're safe with our law enforcement, especially we're safe with our sheriff. Um, so, I, my advice is, like you said, let's just forget it. Really, it's not worth the fight anymore, and it's a piece of paper. That's all it is now. Really, it's just a piece of paper.
Well, I appreciate all the work you did on it, and maybe we'll bring it up again, and who knows when, but probably never, and that's fine. And as long as you live in Curry County, I'm not going to listen to anybody else. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. I stay here for a reason, Court, and our law enforcement is my number one reason I stay here. Not just county, the cities as well. And that's the only reason I stay here in Curry County. Great folks, man, all of them. And, I can't say enough about John Ward, really, I can't. But, so anyways, I guess we'll just leave it at that. You just know I'll support you if you ever want to try to rock it. And just remember, you're more than welcome to use all my work I've already done. I don't have no problem with that, and neither does my law firm. And but I don't see the need for it. That's where I stand.
Gotcha, Bart.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, Commissioner, as always. And let's rock the county forward in 2021. All right, brother?
Thanks, pal. And I appreciate you picking up and being flexible on the timing of the
Yeah.
on this. So I'm not going to do anything with it, okay?
All right, sounds great, man. You have a great day. Always good talking.
All right, thanks again.
All right, you need anything, you got my number.
You're the best, Bart.
All right, man. Talk soon, Court.
I think you like me despite my warts.
Hey, I like everybody, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, take it easy, Court.
Thank you.
All right, bye. And there you have our county commissioner.